In a major development on the security front, National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu announced that security services had captured 2 terror leaders, including Mahmoud Mohammed Usman, described as a leader of the Al-Qaeda-linked faction, Jama'atu Ansaru Muslimina fi Bilad Sudan, popularly known as Ansaru. The federal government also said they had detained Mahmoud al-Nigeri, who is associated with the Emergence Mahmouda network in north-central Nigeria, a move that has drawn commendation from international partners, including the United States and the United Kingdom. Tonight, former Commissioner for Information at Adamawa State, Ahmad Sajoh, joins us to speak on what this arrest of Ansaru's top leaders mean for Nigeria's security. Good evening to you, sir. Thank you very much for speaking with us tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening. It's my pleasure, and good evening, Nigerians.
Thank you very much. So it's been 4 days since these arrests happened. Also, foreign nations have commended Nigeria for this. How significant is this arrest in Nigeria's broader counterterrorism campaign? Do you think Nigeria is finally turning the tide in its fight against terrorism? Is this a strategic success, or is this luck shining on us?
No, let me put it in context, right. And it's important we contextualize our discussion. It's important we look at it from both contemporary contextual situations and historical contextual situations. Contemporary historical situation is that the armed forces, particularly under General Christopher Musa, have been more coordinated and more proactive in the fight against insurgency. But the layers of the counter-terrorism architecture goes beyond the armed forces. There are the other security agencies, the DSS for internal, the NIA for external, the police, and all the other layers of security. And for this, I think we need to, from the onset, actually, give credit to where the credit deservedly belongs. And that is the Office of the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu. What Malam Nuhu Ribadu brought to this system are 3 things. Number 1, greater coordination amongst the security agencies. Number 2, greater synergy, amongst the security agencies. But most importantly, the emphasis has been on intelligence gathering, intelligence processing, and intelligence sharing. And this is what led to this. Now, historically, the Ansarul Muslimin fi Bilad Sudan is a splinter of Boko Haram. When Mohammed Yusuf was killed, there were, arguments within the hierarchies of Boko Haram at that time as to whether the succession to Mohammed Yusuf should be through bloodline, in which case his son should take over, or through hierarchy, in which his Qaid Qaidawa, then Shekau, will take over. And eventually, the Shekau faction won. And both Abu Bara and Mahmouda were part of the Shekau group at that time. And the first international terror group to have come to their aid then was Al-Qaeda. And then they appointed Shekau Amir or Emir, and they were funding the structure until the other faction went and contacted ISIS. And ISIS and Al-Qaeda do not see eye to eye. And so ISIS gave a condition. They wanted a province in Nigeria. And that was how Islamic State West Africa Province came about, ISWAP. Now they set up the province, and they became antagonistic towards the Shekau group. Eventually, the ISWAP tendency defeated the Al-Qaeda tendency and subdued, and then Shekau was said to have committed suicide in the process. So those that were with Shekau, Mahmouda, Abu Bara, and Malam Mahmouda moved to the center of the country, and they started their own terror cells. And these terror cells became very, very disturbing. They were the ones that were responsible for most of the terror activities, you know, like the train attacks and the rest. They were also responsible for the electric tower falling and putting the entire northern Nigeria into darkness. They had done a lot of dastardly things.
Absolutely,
so it is
Mr. Sajoh.
A credit.
And thank you very much for contextualizing this conversation. But based on the historical context, do you see this development leading to improved security in the northwest and northeast regions where Ansaru has operated?
I believe very sincerely that if Malanu Ribadu as NSA and the Christopher Musa as Chief of Defense Staff continue in the trajectory they are moving now, with coordination, with intelligence gathering and sharing, with synergy amongst the security agencies, I am sure that we're going to make major breakthroughs, much more than the one we have just made. But you see, the danger in all of this is that these two terror leaders were leaders of a system that has terror cells, micro cells, within the cities and within the bushes. The cell leaders now know that the hierarchy has collapsed. The leadership at the top had fallen. So what we have to do now as a nation, as a people, is to make sure that those terror cells do not develop a life of their own and begin to operate as independent terror organizations that could threaten our peace. Right. And in that case, a greater intelligence gathering is needed and greater support from the public. You know, you cannot defeat these terror groups unless we have support from the public itself. All
right. Thank you for going there, Mr. Sajoh, because, you know, it was in April, and I guess this is for the NSA and the armed forces, because it was in April the president directed an immediate and comprehensive overhaul of national security strategies. And I know that at that time, some Nigerians felt Mr. President was only repeating these directives with no serious implementation. Again, he has promised to, you know, strengthen the government security apparatus at the ongoing Tokyo International Conference for African Development. So with the arrest of these kingpins, what should Nigeria's next step to, you know, ensure the dismantling of this network entirely?
I think I agree with you totally that the commitment to end the terror has come directly from Mr. President himself as the commander-in-chief and as the overall head of the security architecture. But I must also tell you that one of the things that we need to do to consolidate on the gains that we have achieved so far by the arrest of Abu Bara'a and Mala Mahmouda is to be sure that we extract as much information from them as possible. We need to go after their lieutenants, those that are close to them. People who don't know should know that the Boko Haram system is well structured. They have people they call Qaids, they have people they call Munzur, they have people they call Irasi, they have different strata and hierarchy, akin almost like military ranking system. They must identify the closest of those hierarchical leaders, arrest them also, extract information from them, so we go down until we reach the cell level, because it's at the cell that the implementation of terror tactics take place. The top hierarchy of the terror network normally sits and designs a strategic plan for unleashing terror on the people. But these plans are implemented by people who operate at the cell level. We need to get to those cells and identify the cells and neutralize the cells. It's so sad that today, just as we are talking here now, between Damaturu and Maiduguri, the army military checkpoint captured a vehicle that had a way bill of some goods. When they opened those goods, they were all ammunitions. You know, luckily they've also gotten a lead as to who were responsible. So this terror network is so vast, so organized that we need to infiltrate and actually break their backbone. So by the arrest of Abu Bara and Mala Mahmouda, we should be able to consolidate and move further to look for their other lieutenants, and from those lieutenants, we need to go to the cell leaders and neutralize the cells.